Hi guys, my name is Lexi. Today I wanted to talk about something that I've wanted to talk about for a really long time now. Honestly, it's been about a year and a half. I've recorded this video several times, but I've just never had the courage to post it, and I've never been able to put into words what I actually want to say, so I'm not happy with the video, and then I delete it. Hopefully, fingers crossed, today is the day that we get the video that I'll have the courage to post. But I wanted to talk about something that is very present in my life. I'm a young mom and I get so many questions about my story and how everything panned out. And so I finally decided I'm going to sit down and I'm going to talk about it and tell my story from me. I feel like a lot of people are always scared to ask me, so they go around and they'll ask my friends or they'll ask my family what's going on in my life. So here I am. Something that inspired me to make this video was I was listening to the radio the other day, and there was a mom who had called in, and she said that she thought her teen daughter was pregnant. And so, long story short, she found out her daughter is pregnant, and she was just freaking out. She was so scared, and there was so much uncertainty in her voice. She seemed so unsettled, and it really made me want to make this video because now that I'm on the other side of it and I have Mateo and I'm a mom now, it's so different than what you think in the beginning. Like, you have all these negative thoughts and you're scared of what people are going to think. You're scared of how life is going to be. You think the world is ending. You think that nobody's going to look at you the same and everybody's going to judge you. And people do judge you. There's a lot of judgment. There's no doubt about that. But the point of this is that the other side is so much brighter. I can promise you that. Being a mom is the most amazing thing in the world, and it is hard. I am not gonna lie. So I'm here today to share my story for those that may be walking through the same thing, who may walk through the same thing at some point in the future, or even just somebody that wants to just sit and listen to my story. I hope that if you get anything out of this, it's that everything is gonna be okay. If you're in this situation, everything I promise you is going to be okay, and that bug is going to bother me. I'm not at all trying to glorify teen pregnancy, and I'm not trying to make it seem like it's this easy thing that is fun and glamorous, because I feel like a lot of people do that and they try to act like being a teen mom is like the cool thing. It's hard and it's a lot of work and it's trying. So yeah, I just had to put that out there. Before I get into my story, I'd like to give a little bit of background information because we have a crazy unique story. I have traveled to Mexico since I was young. My family has always vacationed there. We love Mexico. It's such an awesome country. But later in the years, we found Playa del Carmen, which is about 30 minutes away from Cancun. If you've ever been there or to the Riviera Maya, it is the most beautiful place in the world. So we had vacation there a few times, and I met quite a few people just from other people staying in the resort or the animation team, the people that work at the resort. I met quite a few people. I kept up with those people, which kind of led to us going back to Playa and vacationing there again. And then my best friends and I ended up taking a senior trip to Playa. I ended up having this idea that I was going to move to Mexico. I just didn't know when. So we ended up coming back from our senior trip, and I immediately booked a trip back. So I decided, you know what, I am on the quarter system for school, and I'm gonna spend the month of August in Playa del Carmen, because why not? So I booked a flight and I booked an Airbnb for a month, and I left on July 31st. I researched everything, high and low, whatever you wanna know about living in Playa. I joined Facebook groups and spoke with people from the United States that were living in Playa. I really got all the information that I needed to know. And as much as you see on the news these days about the Riviera Maya and Cancun and Playa being dangerous, it's not. And yes, of course, there are things that happen. It's a city, but it's not as unsafe as people say. And I had the most amazing time. I wouldn't change that experience for the world. It was so much fun. While I was there, I met a boy who changed everything. And I didn't know that he was going to change everything when I first met him, but he did. And I always get emotional when I talk about this. We instantly clicked, and he didn't speak English and I didn't speak Spanish. We ended up teaching each other's languages, but we used Google Translate and we got to know each other. We hung out multiple times while I was there. We talked every single day. I knew there was something special about him from the beginning. We kept talking, and then I came home, this bug, I swear. I came home from my trip, and when I got home, my parents and I sat down and had to talk about me leaving for school and what that was going to look like. And it really wasn't in the plans for me at that time. I think everything happens for a reason. It was just, my parents had moved to Nashville the day that I left for Mexico, because my dad got a job transfer on the whim and moved to Nashville within a month of finding out that his job was getting transferred there. So instead of coming back to California, I went home to Nashville. My parents were just really concerned about the financial piece of it, just me being across the country. Nothing added up, and we clearly saw like that is not the place for me to be. So I ended up withdrawing myself from that university, and I was going to take a year off and just hang out. I was going to work and save money and just get to know the area. But I was like, you know what? I've always said I wanted to take a gap year, and it kind of just fell in my hands. So why not do what I've always wanted to do and go somewhere? So I did. I ended up booking a flight to go back to Mexico, and I got a job who was willing to sponsor my visa. I came back to the United States. I waited for that visa to process, and once it did, I was off. I went back to Mexico. I was going to be working on an animation team at a resort, teaching Zumba and beach volleyball and water aerobics and meeting people from all over the world, and I was pumped. So I got my visa, which was kind of a surprise because it's surprisingly not easy to get a visa for Mexico. It's actually really hard, and it really was a smooth, easy process for me. And so that alone kind of told me like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I moved there, and the boy that I had met in August and we started having sleepovers every night. We fell in love really quickly. Our relationship progressed really fast. We were together all the time. We spent every minute together. We loved each other's company. We never fought. We never had disagreements. We were really happy together. We ended up moving in together, which I know probably was not the best idea. We moved in together because we were like, we're together all the time anyways. Why are we paying rent on 2 different apartments when we could just have our own? So we moved in together, and things went really well. I don't want to cry. This is going to be a happy video, I promise. We're not together anymore. Even though we're not together, I wish him the best. I wish that he finds happiness with whatever he's doing. I'll always love him, and I will always cherish the memories that we had together, and I will always be grateful for him giving me the greatest gift in life, which is Mateo. As much as there is hurt there is a lot of gratefulness for everything that he gave me, whether it was the memories, Mateo, just our life together was so much fun. I decided to go home for Christmas the year 2016. So I came home and realized that, sorry if this is TMI, I was late for my period, and he told me I should go to the doctor to make sure everything was okay. So I did that. They did a bunch of tests, and they said, no, you're not pregnant. Nothing's wrong. It's just traveling and stress, and you're all over the place. You're busy. That's why you're late. And so that was it. And then I went back about a week later because I still was late, and they told me to come back if I went another week without it. They did a bunch of tests and nothing. I went home, didn't really think much of it, and then later that night I started getting really intense cramps in my stomach, and I thought I had appendicitis, but nobody takes me seriously because I'm a wimp when it comes to pain. And so my mom told me to just wait it out and see if it got worse, and it did. Over the next 3 days it got really bad, and I was on the ground in a ball, like holding my stomach. It was so much pain. So my mom decided to finally take me to the emergency room, and we went, and they pulled me back and did a bunch of tests, brought me back to the waiting room, and just had me wait for what ended up being like 5 hours. And finally I was like, I'm in so much pain. I am not going to do this. Like, I just want to be at home in my bed or in the bathtub. If I'm going to be in this much pain, I do not want to be in an emergency room sitting in a hard plastic chair. I'm sorry. No. So my mom and I packed up our stuff, and we were walking outside. And as we got to the doors to exit the hospital, my name got called. I went back. They brought my mom to the room they had set up for me, and then they brought me to go get an ultrasound done. The lady that was walking with me, she said, "So when did you find out?" And I was like, "Find out what?" And she goes, "Find out that you're pregnant." I can't even put into words what I was feeling when she said that, because that was the last thing that I expected. And I knew that I was being stupid with sexual activity, I guess that's how you put it. But I never, ever thought that it would happen to me. I was shaking compulsively, like my whole arm, it felt like it was crazy. My legs, I couldn't even walk, like my legs were shaking so bad. And she told me that it was normal when people go into that much shock, but I was crying. It was just like a million emotions in one. I was scared. I was scared of what people were going to think. I was scared of the judgment. I was scared that I wouldn't be a good mom. I was scared that I wasn't ready for this. I was scared about a million things. And like I had always said that I was never going to get married and I was never going to have kids, because I wanted to be wild my entire life and travel and do whatever the heck I wanted to do, live a selfish life. And I literally got smacked with reality that day. I never, ever once considered abortion. I have my own opinions on abortion and you have yours. Just never, ever would have thought of having an abortion. So I knew from that moment I was going to be a mom, and it was shocking. It was just the craziest news I thought I could have ever heard, especially because I had been going to the doctor and they told me everything was fine. Clearly it wasn't. So they brought me into the room where my mom was, and she hugged me. She knew right away when I walked in because I was crying, and she just knew. She hugged me and she told me everything was going to be okay. It was just the craziest moment, like so surreal. I can't even think of how we were feeling. I can't even really remember much from that day because I was in such shock that just feels like it escaped my mind. I booked my appointment and I went, and she told me, "I am so sorry. We had no idea. Yes, you are pregnant." It just kind of went from there. And so I called Mateo's dad and told him, and I was extremely scared of what he was going to say at first, but he was so excited. He was so happy, and that really changed how I felt about things. I wasn't excited yet, but I knew that everything was going to be okay. We found out that he was a baby boy, and things were just scary. Like, I'm not going to lie, being pregnant and not knowing what to expect. Everybody told me like, "Oh, you're not going to get sleep. You're never going to get to do this. You're never going to get to do that. Oh, when the exhaustion hits you, that's going to be really rough." And like, I was so scared. I had no idea what to expect. But now that I'm on the other side of it, I'm just grateful. Like, it's hard. Being a mom is so hard, but it is the biggest blessing at the same time. I would not trade this for the world. I love being a mom to little Mateo. I love having him in my life. He makes everything happier for not only my life, but my family's life, my friend's life. Like, he's just the biggest blessing. I thank God every day for him, because he has changed me in so many ways for the better. That's my story. A lot of people ask me if I feel like I missed out on being young, or if I feel like if I could go back, would I do this all again? And honestly, I would. Like, I never feel like I missed out, because if I want to do something, I can still do it. My life isn't on hold just because I'm a mom. Like, I can have someone watch him and I can do whatever I want to do, or I can bring him with me. I honestly don't party, so that's not an issue. But no, I don't feel like I missed out. And if I could do this over again, I would, because Mateo is the most amazing thing that's ever happened to me, the most pure love I've ever experienced. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I love him with all my heart. If you've met him, you know, he is just the most special little guy. He's busy, he's crazy, he drives me insane sometimes, but he's amazing. That is my story, and like I said, I'm not trying to make it seem like being a teen mom is right for everybody, and that's not the path that a lot of people should take, but I just want you guys to know that everything's going to be okay. And you're probably scared if you're going through this, but I promise you the other side is, I don't even have words. It's just the most incredible experience. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Maybe we'll see you guys around in another video. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. I'll see you later. Bye.